Welcome to my channel Most Expensive Coins. Diving into a tiny coin that holds a fascinating story, the 1986 1-cent United States coin, also known as the Lincoln penny. You wouldn't expect a penny to be worth more than a cent, but you might be surprised to learn that certain versions of this coin could be worth thousands, or even millions. So, let's break down what makes this coin so special, its history, and why it could potentially be worth big money. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. It was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Since then, the Lincoln penny has gone through a few changes in design, but it's remained the same in terms of value, or has it? The 1986 penny, in particular, is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. This design featured Lincoln's profile on one side, while the reverse side showed the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to the iconic building in Washington, D.C. where Lincoln's legacy is honored. Now, let's talk about the details of the 1986 penny. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched the composition of pennies from 95% copper to primarily zinc, with a thin copper plating. This was due to the rising cost of copper, and by 1986, all pennies were made with a core of zinc and a copper coating. So, a standard 1986 penny has the following specs: it weighs 2.5 grams, measures 19 millimeters in diameter, and is mostly zinc. But here's where it gets interesting: not every penny from this year is standard. And some of these unique versions can be worth a lot more. Let's get to the big question: what makes certain 1986 pennies worth thousands, or even potentially millions? Well, it all comes down to rare varieties, error coins, and exceptional grades. Coin collectors are always on the hunt for error coins, which are coins that have mistakes made during the minting process. Some of the errors that can increase a penny's value include double die errors, off-center strikes, and especially, transitional errors where the wrong metal was accidentally used. Let's talk about the types of errors you should look for on a 1986 penny. First, the double die error. A double die error happens when a coin is struck twice or the die shifts slightly. Look closely at any lettering on the coin, especially words like Liberty or the date itself. If you notice what looks like a shadow or doubling effect, you may have a double die error. Next, there's the off-center strike. If you come across a 1986 penny where the design is shifted or doesn't appear centered, this could also make it more valuable. Coins with major off-center strikes can range from a few dollars to hundreds, depending on the severity and overall condition. One of the most exciting types of errors is although 1986 pennies were supposed to be made with a zinc core and copper plating, it's possible, though rare, that a few were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets from earlier years. If you find a 1986 penny that weighs around 3.1 grams instead of 2.5, it could mean you found a rare copper-based penny. If authenticated, these transitional error coins can be worth thousands of dollars or more. In fact, some transitional error coins have fetched jaw-dropping amounts at auctions. So, if you find a heavier 1986 penny, definitely consider having it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Condition also plays a huge role in the value of a penny. Coins in pristine condition, especially those graded as MS65 or higher, are much more valuable. Coins that have never been circulated, known as mint state, can be worth significantly more than coins with wear and tear. For a 1986 penny in perfect condition, prices can range from just a few dollars to hundreds depending on rarity, errors, and demand. So, is it realistic that a 1986 penny could be worth millions? It's unlikely, but not impossible. Certain coins, particularly those with extremely rare errors or historical significance, can command massive prices. In fact, a rare penny from another year once sold for $1.7 million. The key is rarity and demand. If a 1986 penny with an unprecedented, authentic error were to surface, it could spark major interest at auction and attract high bids from passionate collectors. That's what makes the world of coin collecting so exciting: sometimes, treasures really do come in small packages. So, if you have a jar of pennies, it's time to grab a magnifying glass and start hunting for a hidden gem. Start by examining the weight. If it's around 3.1 grams, you might have a rare transitional penny. Then, check for doubling on the lettering or an off-center design. If you spot anything unusual, consider sending it to a professional grading service to get it certified. And even if your 1986 penny doesn't have an error, it can still be a valuable piece of history and a great addition to any coin collection. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny. Until next time, keep collecting and keep discovering. Who knows, your next penny could be worth a fortune. Next, 1991 cent. Today, we're diving deep into the 1990 penny's history, what to look out for, and why some of these coins could be valued in the thousands, with the rarest errors and variants possibly reaching a mind-boggling $21 million. To appreciate why a simple penny could hold so much potential value, let's first look back at a little history. The 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, has been in circulation in the U.S. since 1793, evolving over the years. The penny's iconic Lincoln design was introduced in 1909 to celebrate President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, and since then, it's become one of the most recognized symbols of U.S. currency. In 1959, the reverse side changed to the Lincoln Memorial design, a change that lasted through 2008. The 1990 penny, then, was one of the last coins featuring this design before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Lincoln Bicentennial Series in 2009. So, what makes a 1990 penny valuable? Let's get into some factors that collectors hunt for, including rare mint errors, unusual finishes, and certain conditions that can skyrocket its value. First off, mint errors are one of the primary reasons that certain 1990 pennies could be worth a lot of money. During the minting process, some coins might accidentally get struck twice, causing a double die effect that collectors absolutely love. If you've got a 1990 penny with a clear double image of Lincoln's profile or the lettering, you could be holding onto a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another common error to look out for is a missing or misprinted letter in Liberty or In God We Trust. Errors like these are extremely rare, and rarity often drives up value in coin collecting. A coin with these kinds of unique flaws could fetch an impressive price at auction. Beyond errors, there are also specific versions of the 1990 penny that were minted in smaller quantities, like proof and mint sets. Proof coins, for example, are specially made for collectors, with a polished, mirror-like finish. If you have a 1990 proof penny in pristine condition, it can be worth more than just a regular 1-cent coin. Proof pennies are not meant for everyday use and were created in limited numbers, so they're naturally more valuable. If yours is in perfect or near-perfect condition, and especially if it's graded by a professional grading company, it could be worth a substantial amount, sometimes reaching up to a few $100s. Now, let's address the $21 million question. You may have heard rumors that some rare pennies, including certain 1990 pennies, could be worth up to $21 million. But is this really true? The short answer: not quite. The $21 million figure is a reference to record-breaking auction prices for incredibly rare and historical coins. For example, a 1794 flowing hair silver dollar fetched nearly $10 million, and some ultra-rare Lincoln pennies from the early 1900s, made from different metals, have been known to reach high 6- or 7-figure amounts. But for the 1990 penny, it's extremely unlikely that one will fetch anything close to $21 million. However, with the right combination of rarity, errors, and exceptional condition, a 1990 penny could still be worth hundreds or even thousands, which is pretty exciting considering it's a coin most of us would overlook. If you want to check if your 1990 penny is one of the valuable ones, here are some tips. First, look at the coin under a bright light or with a magnifying glass. Pay special attention to the date and the word Liberty. Any unusual doubling or misprints might indicate a valuable error. Then, check the condition. The less wear and tear, the better. If your penny is in mint or near mint condition, it's far more likely to be valuable. Finally, if you think you found a rare error or proof coin, consider getting it graded by a professional. Graded coins often have higher resale value because the condition is certified by a third-party expert. Whether it's worth $1 or $1,000, finding a unique coin can be a thrill. So next time you come across a penny from 1990, don't just toss it aside, take a closer look. It might just surprise you. Remember, even the simplest penny has a story, and sometimes, it's a story worth far more than its face value. If you enjoyed this dive into the hidden value of the 1990 penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin collecting insights. Who knows? The next coin in your hand might be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. Next 2017 1 cent United States of America. Today, we're diving into a topic that might sound unbelievable, how a humble 1 cent coin from 2017 could be worth serious money to collectors. And yes, I know, when we think of coins that are valuable, we're often talking about older ones, like a penny from the 1800s or even the early 1900s. But did you know that some modern pennies, even from recent years, can sometimes hold surprising value? Stick with me as we explore the fascinating details behind the 2017 1 cent United States of America coin, what makes it special, and why a rare version of this penny could fetch thousands, or even more, at auction. The 1 cent coin has a rich history in the United States, going back more than 2 centuries. Originally, the first pennies were quite large and made of pure copper. But over the years, the design, size, and even the metal content of the penny have changed several times. Fast forward to today, and we see Abraham Lincoln's familiar face on the front, while the reverse has seen a variety of designs over the years. In 2010, the penny received a redesign with the Union shield on the back, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the United States during the Civil War. But among all these changes, the penny has maintained its place as a staple of American currency. So, what about the 2017 penny? It might seem like just any other coin at first glance, but it's the details, and sometimes errors, that make it interesting. In 2017, over 8.6 billion pennies were minted across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. While these are common coins, certain 2017 pennies can be worth much more than face value. One of the most exciting things for collectors are mint errors, those tiny or sometimes large mistakes that make a coin unique. 2017 has some notable examples, including double dies, off-centering, and die cracks. This year was special because, for the first time ever, the Philadelphia Mint included a P mint mark on the penny to celebrate the U.S. Mint's 225th anniversary. This was the only year it appeared, and while it's not super rare, it's a unique marker that collectors find interesting. Look closely for any doubling, especially in letters or numbers. A 2017 penny with noticeable double die errors, where text or imagery appears slightly doubled, can add significant value. If the penny wasn't perfectly struck, it might appear off-center, or you might see lines or cracks on the surface caused by wear on the minting dies. The more dramatic the error, the higher the potential value. Now, here's the part you're probably waiting for: how much could a 2017 penny be worth if it has the right features? In most cases, a 2017 penny will only be worth its face value of 1 cent. However, if you have a mint error penny or a particularly rare P mint mark penny in uncirculated condition, that's when things can change. A coin with significant mint errors, like a double die or off-center strike, could bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity and the condition. For example, one collector found a 2017 penny with dramatic die errors that sold at auction for over $1,000. Another rare P mint penny, certified as near perfect, fetched over $5,000 in an online auction. Collectors are willing to pay because these coins are unique, and they represent an interesting moment in the history of the U.S. Mint. So, what's the difference between the face value and the collector's value? Face value is what a coin is technically worth as currency, in this case, 1 cent. But the collector value is how much someone is willing to pay for it because of factors like rarity, condition, or historical significance. That's why a 1 cent coin could potentially be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars if it has these unique features. The collector value goes beyond its monetary use and taps into the desire to own something special. Okay, so I know there's a wild rumor going around about a $43 million penny. Unfortunately, there isn't a single confirmed case of any 2017 penny reaching that insane amount. It's a myth that's been blown out of proportion online, and while it's fun to think about, a modern penny hasn't reached anything close to that. But who knows, stranger things have happened in the coin world. Some coins have sold for millions, especially those with unique features or fascinating histories. So while a penny going for $43 million is unlikely, it's a good reminder that sometimes what we think is ordinary can actually be extraordinary. So, what should you do if you have a 2017 penny lying around? First, take a close look at the coin. Does it have any mint errors? Is there a P mint mark? Is it in pristine condition? Then, consider having it graded if it looks special. Remember, even if it's not worth thousands, a 2017 penny with a unique feature could still make a great addition to a coin collection. And who knows? As time goes on, the value could rise, especially for error coins or coins in perfect condition. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos on coin collecting, currency history, and hidden treasures. And drop a comment if you have a unique 2017 penny story or if you'd like to see other coins covered on the channel. Next, 1966 1 cent. Today, we're talking about something truly mind-blowing, the 1966 1 cent coin from the United States, and why certain rare examples could be worth up to $18 million. That's right, $18 million for a penny. So, is this true? What's behind the story? Let's find out. First off, let's travel back in time to 1966. At this time, the United States was in the middle of a coin shortage due to a spike in demand and a rise in coin hoarding. Because of this, the government and the U.S. Mint were working around the clock to mint enough coins to keep up. This resulted in an increased production of Lincoln pennies, which were still copper-based back then. The Lincoln penny design from this era hadn't changed much. You still see Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which first appeared on the penny in 1959. But there was something different about the coins minted this year that set them apart. So, what exactly made the 1966 penny different? For starters, the U.S. Mint actually removed mint marks from all coins minted in 1965, 1966, and 1967. The idea was to discourage people from hoarding coins from certain mints. So, even though 1966 pennies were produced at all three main mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, none of them had the usual D, S, or no mark to indicate where they came from. Okay, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How can a 1 cent coin from 1966 be worth up to $18 million? Let me explain. First, it's important to note that not every 1966 penny is valuable. In fact, most are worth only their face value or maybe a little more if they're in pristine condition. But collectors are after something truly rare. In numismatics, or coin collecting, certain errors and anomalies can make a coin highly valuable. Now, what kind of errors are we talking about? There are two main types that collectors and experts believe could push the value of certain 1966 pennies into the stratosphere. A doubled die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once, creating a doubled image on the coin. This can happen with the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's portrait. Coins with prominent doubling can fetch high prices. In an off-center strike, the design is misaligned on the coin. Depending on how far off the center, the coin might have part of the design cut off, which makes it unique and highly collectible. Coins that somehow stayed in pristine, near-perfect condition, especially at grades like MS 67 or higher, can sell for thousands, even millions, at auctions. Now, finding one of these 1966 pennies with any of these errors is extremely rare, but collectors are always hunting for them. So, where does this $18 million figure come from? The $18 million value is based on speculation. A 1966 penny would need to meet incredibly rare conditions, such as a combination of unique errors, near-perfect mint condition, and likely a dramatic backstory to fetch that high a price. Remember, similar types of error coins from other years have sold for millions in the past, so some collectors believe it's possible a 1966 penny could someday reach that range if it had a perfect storm of rarity and condition. So, if you have a 1966 penny lying around and you're curious if it's worth more than 1 cent, here are some tips. Check the date, letters, and Lincoln's face for any signs of doubling. Coins that haven't circulated much and have very few scratches are worth looking into. Look for any misalignments on the coin. The more off-center, the rarer it is. Now, if you think you've got a rare gem, don't jump to conclusions just yet. To get an accurate value, have your coin professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. They'll assess the coin's condition, authenticity, and any possible errors. With a certified grade, you'll have an official value that collectors recognize. So, should you hang on to that 1966 penny? Absolutely. While most 1966 pennies might not be worth millions, the historical significance and chance of finding a rare error make it worth keeping around or showing to an expert. Plus, it's a great piece of American history. And who knows? You just might be holding onto something truly priceless. Thanks for joining me today, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos on rare coins, treasures, and much more. Catch you next time. Next 1999 1 cent today, we're talking about a humble little penny that could potentially change your life if you have the right one sitting in your piggy bank. Yes, we're talking about the 1999 Lincoln 1 cent coin, an everyday penny that, in some rare cases, has turned out to be worth big bucks. Could your penny actually be worth thousands, even millions of dollars? Stick around to find out. Now, before you run and check every penny you own, let's break down exactly why the 1999 penny might be valuable, its historical significance, and what features to look for if you think you've hit the jackpot. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. Fast forward to 1999, and while the Lincoln cent has undergone a few design changes, it still features good old Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. However, by 1999, the coin was made mostly from copper-plated zinc, which is important to remember because certain unique conditions make this penny valuable. So why do some 1999 pennies go beyond their 1 cent face value? Here are a few key reasons. One major factor is minting errors. Some 1999 pennies are worth much more because they were misprinted in the mint. The most famous example of this is the 1999 penny. In these rare versions, the AM in America on the reverse side of the coin is spaced slightly farther apart than on standard coins. These error pennies are rare, and coin collectors go crazy for them. The difference between the and regular varieties is subtle, but to collectors, it's significant. Depending on the condition, a wide AM penny can fetch anywhere from $20 to over $500 in auctions. The condition of the coin matters a lot. If you have a 1999 penny that's in mint state, which means it looks almost brand new, with no wear and tear, it could be worth significantly more. Professional coin grading services, like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, rank coins on a scale from 1 to 70. If your 1999 penny is graded as MS 68 or higher, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now, let's address that giant elephant in the room, the $72 million claim. You might have seen some exaggerated headlines or rumors online claiming that a 1999 penny was worth $72 million. While that would be amazing, it's unfortunately not true. This rumor likely started as a hoax or exaggeration, but it's based on the fact that some rare coins, especially those with historical errors, unique designs, or rare minting, can fetch millions. But realistically, no single 1999 penny has ever sold for $72 million. There are, however, legitimate examples of coins worth millions, but these are typically centuries old, feature unique historical designs, or have extremely rare minting errors. So while a 1999 penny isn't likely to bring in millions, there are still good reasons it could be worth a decent amount. Alright, if you have a 1999 penny, here's what to do next. Take a close look at the AM in America. If there's a slight gap, you may have the wide AM variety. The 1999 penny was minted in Philadelphia and Denver. Rare error coins can come from either mint, so be sure to check. If it's shiny and has few blemishes, you might have a high-grade penny. For best results, consider sending it to a professional grading service. Now, getting a coin graded can cost between $20 to $50, so be sure you think it's worth the investment before you do it. So, is your 1999 penny worth millions? Probably not, but it could still be worth way more than a cent if it's a rare error coin or in perfect mint condition. The 1999 penny is a great reminder that sometimes the smallest details, like a wide AM, can make all the difference. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more coin collecting tips. Next, 1972 1 cent United States. Today, we're diving into a fascinating chapter in numismatics, the story behind the 1972 Lincoln 1 cent coin. Now, if you're thinking, it's just a penny, what's the big deal? Think again. This coin has an intriguing history, and for some lucky collectors, it's worth way more than just a cent. In fact, one particularly rare variation can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. First, let's go back to the basics. The Lincoln cent, or penny, is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, it was first issued in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The design has changed over time, but Lincoln's profile has remained on this copper beauty for well over a century. In fact, it's the longest-running design on U.S. coinage, but let's talk about 1972 specifically. At the time, the Vietnam War was still going on, and America was in the throes of a recession. Coins were still mostly copper, not the copper-plated zinc we see in today's pennies. This coin has that rich, 95% copper composition, making it stand out from today's coins. And in 1972, over 5 billion of these pennies were minted. But, believe it or not all 1972 pennies are created equal. One of the biggest reasons this 1972 penny has a cult following among collectors is due to a particular error that occurred during the minting process. This is the famous double die obverse variety, and if you're lucky enough to find one, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, what is a double die? Simply put, it's a mistake that happens when the die, the part that stamps the design onto the coin, isn't aligned correctly, causing parts of the image to appear doubled. On the 1972 penny, you'll notice this doubling effect most clearly on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as on the date itself. But not every double die is created equal. There are actually multiple varieties of double die 1972 pennies. The most valuable is known as double die obverse, where the doubling is very pronounced. If you happen to have one of these in top condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Let's talk about value. A regular, circulated 1972 penny is usually worth, well, just a penny. In excellent, uncirculated condition, it might be worth a bit more, maybe up to $5. But if you have a 1972 double die, that's where things get interesting. Prices for the double die variety can range from a few $100s in lower grades to several $1,000s in mint condition. In fact, some of the highest quality 1972 double dies have been auctioned for over $10,000. And remember, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with a 70 being a perfect specimen. The closer your coin is to that perfect grade, the more valuable it is. So, how do you know if your 1972 penny is a double die? Take a close look under a magnifying glass. especially at the date and words. If you're not sure, you can always have it appraised by a professional numismatist or grading service. You might be wondering, why did this error happen in the first place? Well, in 1972, the US Mint was under pressure to produce more coins due to high demand. In the rush, some dies weren't aligned properly when they were created, and those small mistakes led to doubling. After this discovery, the Mint tightened its quality control measures, but a few of these double-die pennies still made it into circulation. The 1972 Lincoln cent has more than just double dies. There are also small variations and other minor errors that can add a bit of value. For example, you might find a 1972 penny with a floating roof, a type of die error where the lines that connect the roof of the Lincoln Memorial to the building don't appear clearly, giving the roof a floating effect. There are also a few other die cracks and chips that collectors look for in this year. While they're not worth as much as the double die, they're still fun to look for and can add a couple of dollars to the value of your coin. So, where can you find one of these gems? You could start by searching through your own collection, especially if you have rolls of pennies from years ago. You can also check with local coin shops, online auction sites, or at coin shows. Some collectors buy rolls of pennies from the bank, hoping to find that rare gem hiding among the common coins. To sum it up, the 1972 Lincoln cent is a great example of why coin collecting can be so thrilling. While most of these pennies are worth just a cent, a rare few are worth much, much more. So, next time you come across a 1972 penny, give it a close look. You just might find a double die and strike it lucky. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of the 1972 penny. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video from us. And let us know in the comments, have you ever come across a rare coin in your collection? Until next time, happy hunting. Next, 1957 1 cent United States of America. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins in U.S. history, the 1957 Lincoln wheat cent. A coin that's sparked a lot of rumors, legends, and big questions, like let's find out if that old 1-cent coin in your drawer could be the one that makes you a millionaire. Stay tuned. Alright, before we jump into the big money questions, let's start with a little history on this coin. The 1957 Lincoln wheat cent is part of the wheat penny series, first introduced in 1909. That year marked the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and this was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's face. Our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, show a comparison between older coins with allegorical figures and the 1957 wheat cent with Lincoln's profile. The 1957 penny was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with billions of these coins produced. It was a very common coin back in the day, but it's become a classic among collectors for its simple beauty and historical significance. Now, let's get to the juicy part. How much is this little penny actually worth today? Is it worth just 1 cent, or is there more to it? The answer, as with most collectibles, depends on several factors. Most 1957 pennies you'll find are only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, depending on their condition. A coin in average condition might sell for 2 to 10 cents on the collector market. If it's in the mint state, meaning it's practically untouched and shiny as new, the value could go up to $5, or even $10 in some cases. A coin in mint state, or even a red designation, which means it has retained its original copper luster, is highly desirable. Some collectors will pay up to $20 or more for a perfect 1957 penny in these conditions. But wait. You might have seen headlines or heard rumors claiming that a 1957 penny could be worth $45 million. Let's clear that up. This $45 million claim stems from confusion with other rare coins, specifically error coins or coins with unique histories that indeed can sell for millions. But for a standard 1957 penny, there's no record of any sale coming close to that amount. Fact, the $45 million price tag is generally reserved for ultra-rare coins, like the 1933 Double Eagle, or coins with minting errors so rare that they have only 1 or 2 known examples. Now, where things get interesting is when we look at error coins. Error coins happen when a mistake is made in the minting process, and they're usually highly prized by collectors. Show examples of different types of minting errors on pennies, like off-center strikes, double dies, or cracked planchets. For the 1957 penny, a few types of errors can make a huge difference in value. The most valuable error you might find is a double die, which is when certain parts of the design, like the date or text, appear doubled. These errors are rare and can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition. Show a close-up of a double die effect, with emphasis on the doubling of letters or numbers. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is misaligned. These can be valuable too, sometimes reaching values of $100 or more. So, how do you know if your 1957 penny could be worth more than a cent? Here are some quick tips. The less wear, the better. Look for pennies that are shiny and have minimal scratches or discoloration. Look for any signs of a minting error. This includes double dies, off-center strikes, or anything that looks unusual. The Denver Mint pennies have a little D below the date, while the Philadelphia Mint doesn't have any mark. Although this doesn't usually affect value, some collectors like to complete a set. Alright, let's talk real numbers. If you have a 1957 penny in average condition, it's likely worth between 1 and 10 cents. A coin in excellent or red mint state could fetch around $5 to $20. Error coins can go for $100, $500, or sometimes even over $1,000 if it's a rare double die. So, unfortunately, unless you have an extraordinarily rare error coin, that $45 million rumor is just a myth. But you might still be able to make a pretty penny. If you think you have a valuable 1957 penny, what should you do next? First, you'll want to get it appraised by a professional coin dealer or submit it to a grading service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service. This will give you an official rating, which helps you determine its market value. From there, you can sell it at coin auctions, to collectors online, or even through reputable online marketplaces. So, there you have it. While the 1957 penny might not be worth $45 million, it's still a fascinating piece of American history and a fun treasure hunt for collectors. If you have some of these pennies lying around, take a closer look. You might just have a valuable error coin on your hands. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into coin collecting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments if you found any rare coins in your collection. Until next time, happy hunting!